You're listening to the Ska Mailman podcast, and this week we had my friend and comedian Anna Valenzuela on. Anna is really big into punk and into ska. She knows her shit. She's been around. She's been to all the shows. She knows all the people. She even performed at Warped Tour this year and multiple stops. So we talked a little bit about that, and unfortunately, she got dumped. And we had a really big conversation about that and how a lot of it had to do with ska. Maybe not had to do with ska, but it all ties in with ska. And so we built a playlist together of newer songs that she can listen to kind of get over a relationship where ska kind of hurts at the moment. So it's a really interesting conversation, really funny all the way through. She's very funny, really great comedian, and knows how to turn her hurt into some beautiful art and make all of us laugh and have a great time in the process. So this is a long one. It's a really great one. Strap in, check it out, the Ska Mailman podcast.
The Ska Mailman, step up to the mic, yeah. The Ska Mailman, we're talking music and life, and the Ska Mailman, we're hanging with our friends. The Ska Mailman, listen again and again, yeah. This has got to be the best podcast I've heard all week. I heard from the mailman.
Welcome. What are you worried about, your room? I just made my bed before we started, if that helps.
It looks psychotic back there. Okay, I think this is slightly better. Okay, let's go.
Great. All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the Ska Mailman podcast. I'm your host, Adam the Ska Mailman Wallace, and joining me today is comedian, my new friend, Anna Valenzuela. What's up, Anna?
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's so good to talk to you, actually, instead of just like internet chatting, or actually like face to face as close as we can be.
We've been fans of each other on social media for quite some time.
For a while, I've been a fan of yours for a really long time before I even did social media stuff, because I am a huge fan of the podcast This Is Rad ever since it first came out.
You're a radster.
Yeah. And so when I saw that you were started following me, I was like, oh my God.
I have so much to tell you. This is going to be great.
Okay, great. And then just the other day, I was going through like my follower list, and I was like, Brandy Posey, oh my God! It's like all my favorite people are following me. So I was just stoked to see that we're following each other now. So
congratulations on the Brandy follow.
Yeah.
That's always a good time. That's always a good time. I remember I had a moment like that during the pandemic. Eve 6 followed me back.
Oh, cool.
And I was cool. Like, oh, like I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out like he was friends with my friends. So it was cool. So, but yeah, I love it when there's like a follow back. The show The Expanse was a good follow back for me. The writer of The Expanse, like, and I used to like back when Twitter was the best. Remember that one time on Twitter, and the president got COVID, and we all thought we were going to be free of fascism. Right. And then, yeah.
And then it went the total opposite direction.
Yeah. This timeline is bonkers. It's a bonkers timeline.
No, that just reminds me too, like the first time I got followed by like a band that I like was like kind of early in my TikTok career, because my TikTok page was originally a Taco Bell fan page. It was like just like how to customize your Taco Bell items to be better and cheaper and like.
I would like for you to tell me how to customize my Taco Bell items to be gluten-free, because that is the hardest. Yeah. I have a gluten allergy, and because I'm so LA, you come to LA and you really gotta get. But I have a gluten allergy, and Taco Bell is the thing I miss the most. I think the Cantina menu is the most friendly for me right now.
Yeah, I bet you those like. The bowls, like the protein bowls, are probably gluten-free because there's no tortillas.
And as long as it's a corn tortilla, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if they have a ton of like corn tortilla options. To be fair, I haven't eaten Taco Bell in a while because I'm trying to be better.
Good for you. Okay, good.
It's like a drug.
I feel like leaving a ska show, there is no better time for a Baja Blast freeze.
Oh, yeah.
Like that to me feels like the most like ska beverage.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, Taco Bell, it was a great ska after party location when you're in high school. You know, like I
Yes.
remember seeing Real Big Fish with all my friends and then us going to Taco Bell afterwards. And we were so loud and we didn't even realize it. And all the people behind the counter were like, hey, can you kids like keep it down? You're like screaming just because we had hearing loss from the
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
And then on the way back home, there was like a 5-layer burrito thrown at my friend's windshield, and he's like doing the windshield wipers, and it's getting sour cream and beans, and we can't see, and we're on the freeway. We're all like, we're gonna die. But at
That's
least we
so
went out
funny.
watching Real Big Fish.
There you go. Oh my gosh, so jealous.
Yeah.
I would love to see Real Big Fish.
Oh yeah, for real. But no, so then the whole TikTok thing, I started as a Taco Bell fan page, and then just out of nowhere, I used one of those sounds that was like, this is what your favorite one of these says about you. You're
Mm,
old. You're super old. You never graduated kindergarten. Like all these weird things. And I was like, oh, I have a vast knowledge of ska bands. I'll put up like ska bands that this like relates to, and it'll be funny.
yeah.
And one of the ones was, if you know this one, then you're cool. Can we be best friends? And I chose the band Chase Long Beach, which was just kind of like not ever a really big band,
Right.
but I really loved them. And so I put that up there, and then they commented and was like, we're back, we just reunited. And then they started following me, and I was
Oh,
like, oh my god, a ska band's following me, wow. And now I've got a ton of ska bands following me, and I'm still like super excited whenever a new one does. But that was like the first one where I was like, ooh, this could be something. And now
oh,
look
that's
where we are. So yeah, it's
amazing.
fun.
I love it. It sounds like your foyer into like being podcaster, being like internet personality is very similar to my like my stumbling into stand up. Like
Yeah,
I
I want to
just
hear how
I
you started that.
well, I started I okay, so way back in 2014. Oh, all the hope and change. We all felt like anything could happen.
Yeah, for
And
real.
I was working at a place in Long Beach, and I was working with folks with autism. I had worked for about 10 years with folks with disabilities and folks in drug and alcohol services. And so I had this job, and I was the first of like 19 people to get laid off. And
Okay.
then I was like distraught. And I was dating at the time, and I kept dating people. So my a gentleman I was in a relationship with had a stroke while we were in the relationship. And then when we got out of the relationship, I was dating. I tell it differently on stage, but I was dating guys, and two guys after the first date died just randomly, nothing to do with
Right.
me. And I promise, it's you can't prove it anyway. So it really did have nothing to do with me, but I was kind of like freaked out. And my friend at this time started taking me to stand up shows. And we were at the Comedy Store, and I complimented this one guy's set. I said, "You were really funny." And he said, "You know, you must be a comedian because only comedians think I'm funny." And I
Oh.
was like, "That's not true." And he goes, "No, you are a comedian." And then he rallied a comic to come over and explain what potluck was, which is funny because I thought I needed to bring food. And
Yeah.
because I'm just like a perpetual auntie, I'm in my 30s, I don't know. And so like I my I finally like I'm at home, I'm in therapy, and suddenly everybody in my life, I had a boss, I was at the grocery store, everybody in my life starts saying, my therapist, like they were like, "Well, why don't you try stand up? Like why don't you try it?" And I was like, "Fine." My boss emails me an open mic link. It's down the street. And I'm working under the table. I'm making memes for recovery centers, and it's like the most, and I'm just listening to stand up all the time. Big Kyle Kinane fan.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, he'd be a great guest because he's like, he
Oh my
loves punk,
god,
loves
I
ska,
would.
loves all of that.
Yeah.
And so like I keep thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna go to this open mic and get out of my system. And I go, and I knew two things. Number one, I bombed. And number two, I wanted to do it again.
Oh yeah.
And I got sick immediately after that because you get the open mic flu really quickly at the time. This was before COVID, when like you could just like not go out. And so like but the host invited me back, and then before I knew it, I was like embedded in these like this group of comics in Long Beach and Orange County. And what they didn't know, and I've always been weird. I've always been weird because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Northern California, this little two-horse town out
Mhm.
in just past Modesto called Ione. And at the
Okay.
time, it just had prisons. It didn't have wine. It didn't have any of the stuff it has now. But it used to just be prisons and sad and racism. That was it. Just
Yeah.
white people by themselves.
That
And
sounds a
so
lot like Idaho.
yeah, it's big Idaho energy. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I know. I've been there. It's big Idaho energy. And I feel across the Midwest, I feel so at home because I just know this vibe, right? Like
Yeah,
we were
right.
in a Culver's in Wisconsin and I was with Brandy and this kid walks by and just stops and stares at me. And I realized, and I put the burger down and I went, oh, that kid just saw their first Mexican.
Oh my God.
I know
Yeah.
that look. I gave that look. And like so yeah, so I always liked I liked punk music, I liked ska music, I like, rock alternative, whatever. I was especially like Northern California at the time, like the Sacramento like station really hooked it up. But I was really far from the music scene. So it would be like you would go once a month into Sacramento and we'd stop by Virgin Records and I would get a zine and I would
Yeah.
know or like I would know something about something and I would look up the band or I'd get a Spin magazine and look up the band. But I never felt like I knew enough about any bands, any people, which is ironically how I became friends with people in bands because I just didn't know who they were.
Sure.
Like I was just like, "Oh, cool, you're cool." Like and I didn't even like put it together. And
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah, so I was hanging out with people in Long Beach and comedian Keith Carey, very funny. He gets in my car one day and he goes, "Are you listening to Bad Religion 1989?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What kind of you like this kind of music too?" And I go, "Yeah, I mean, I like all kinds of music." My dad used to try to like my dad was trying to intervene on my love of punk and ska. So he
Oh,
would
really?
like yes, he would like buy me like a De La Soul record. Like he would be like I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
he would buy me like a Madonna record. Like he would buy me music that like CNC Music Factory. Like he was just kind of like trying everything to like so I do have a really diverse music taste, but it's his fault because he raised me on acid jazz.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I mean, that sounds
what do
rad
you
too.
yeah, what do you think is going to happen? If your favorite album, your favorite Miles Davis album is Sketches of Spain, you're going to have a ska fan kid. Like that's just what's going to happen. And so
Yeah.
he like the only thing he would tolerate was Cake. Like he was really into Cake and like
Okay.
old Cake is very,
Well,
kind
there's
of
the trumpet. There's that's a solid thing going for it.
exactly. So it was weird because it was like I slowly found out that my friends and I all kind of like the same music and through friends of friends had like met a lot of musicians and stuff. And so that's how these worlds sort of kind of collided. Even Brandy, we were acquaintances before we were friends, but I moved into her house and then the pandemic started and she was like, blah, 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 this band. And I said, oh, I know that person from that band. And she was like, I know that person from that band. And then it turned out that we had these like overlapping music interest circles. And so she's kind of taught me to be, she's through her example has kind of taught me to be like, it's okay. Like if some dude walks up to me and goes, name 3 bands, I
Mm,
name 3 songs.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of songs in here. You know what I mean? There's a few, but and I'll probably freeze because I'm an extrovert with anxiety, and so yeah,
I
so it's been a nice convergence. I got into we were talking about career. I got into roast battle. I got into
Yeah,
all that stuff, which always felt very punk rock to me.
totally.
And then pivoted and started working the road, basically working like a comedian who works very similar to like a punk band on the rise, one-off dates, traveling across the country in a
Yeah.
car, that kind of thing. So did I
I've
answer your
always I've
question?
always thought of well, yeah, I mean, I've always thought of doing stand up as very even if you're not into punk, you're doing a very DIY punk thing of like
Yes.
you're going and when you're performing with a band, you have the band to rely on to back you up and to like keep you company, but ultimately like, oh, they don't like us, right? Oh, whatever, fuck those guys. But when you're on stage and you're bombing and they don't like you, it's like, oh, they don't like me.
I've
Like
had that happen. I've
that's
had that
much
happen.
more yeah, it's got to be much more difficult. I
Well, it was at first. There was a time. Ramsey Badawi, this comic, he's really funny. He was actually in a bunch of bands, like he was in hardcore bands or something back in the day. And he like uh he called me one day after a show where I had just bombed my tits off, just bombed, and it was an all Latino room, so I felt like I bombed in front of my ancestors. It was so bad. And so he calls me because he needed like my license plate for the tolls for a previous gig we had been on together. And I said and he goes, okay. And I was like, 8. And he goes, what's wrong? And I go, well, I'm sorry, it's so embarrassing, but I just bombed my tits off and I feel like such a fucking loser. And I was only a year in. Nobody's good at a year. And
sure.
so he was like, he goes, hey, take a picture of yourself. And I was like, okay. And he goes, so and now I want you to take a picture of yourself the next time you kill, because and put them next to each other, because that's the same comedian.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And I always hold on to that. Like, that's such a, like, and he tells me to stop telling that story. He's like, stop telling that story. I don't want people to think I'm nice. But it helps. And then later on, I was like, it was just after roast battle. Like, I'd done the show and I got asked to do this one nighter in Santa Cruz. I jam up to Santa Cruz. I get there, and occasionally you just go on stage. And did you get this when you were in bands? You would just go on stage and it was like the whole crowd was just like, nah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when you're playing like not a music venue, if you're just playing a bar or like a brewery,
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough I haven't had to play like a laundromat like I know people have had to, but it's like when you're not at a place where people were expecting music and then you're playing music, it's kind of like these, like, it's loud, fuck these guys, like we don't really want that. Like I totally have experienced that.
Stand-up's the same way. I used to host an open mic where it was like, it would just happen to this room.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was
Okay.
happening to these college students that were just trying to pass nursing school, you know? And like, when you're happening to somebody, it gives you a certain amount of humility. In fact, after we did the TV show, me and Keith actually went down a week later to go do that mic just to remember what that felt like. Because we had both hosted it at some point. And so it was like, oh yeah, this sucks. You know, you got to remember, comedians, we like to feel the pit, you know what I mean? We want to feel the punches, we want to feel them a little bit, so yeah.
Oh man, see, now that's, I don't know if people know this about me, but I am like huge comedy nerd. Like I'd say if I wasn't doing music, I would be doing comedy. And I say that because I have done stand up once. I did an open mic once, and oh, hold on. Pause. Zencaster's being all funky. Let me make sure this doesn't crash. Okay. Yeah, I did stand up once at an open mic, and I killed. Like I did amazing. And therefore I don't want to go back because I know I can't kill again. It's just not going to happen. Like
it's tough. Yeah.
I heard Sinbad once do an interview where he said the first time he did stand up, he just like, it was just came natural to him and he just did it and everyone in the room loved it. But then afterwards, like, then you go back with that same confidence and doing, even if you do the same jokes, it's just not going to happen again. Like you have to build it back up. And I just know, and that's the other part too, was it was an open mic where there wasn't a ton of people and the host was like, okay, you have 10 minutes. And I was like, 10 minutes?
10 minutes?
I was like, I can't do 10 minutes. He's like, well, just do as long as you can and just get off when you're done. So I thought that was like a ton of time.
That's how white dudes say the N-word at open mics. Like you.
Yeah.
That's an irresponsible amount of time for a new comic. That's not enough. I hear you.
But the good news is I went up and I did everything I had and I got off stage and I was like, all right, that was probably 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes. And my friend recorded the whole thing. I watched it back and it was like 2.5 minutes. It was like nothing, but it felt like forever.
It does. Yeah. Time slows down up there.
But I loved it so much. And when I did play in a band, the last band I played in before just my own thing, I found that I was enjoying the time between the songs a lot more than the actually time playing the songs, because I was telling jokes and getting laughs, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like that feeling quite a bit. And so that's when I did stand up, was kind of during that time in that band, and I
After
loved.
you
I
did
want
that
to do it
open,
again, but
you do?
yeah, but if I have to pick and choose, because I have a family. I've got 2 kids, I've got a wife, I've
Okay.
got my full-time job, and if I had to pick between doing stand up and music, I think I would have to do music. It's just
Do
like
music. Yeah.
it's so deep in my bones if that's what I want to do. But like if my arms broke and I couldn't play guitar ever again, it's like, well, I could do stand up.
If
Like,
I
I
could
really
play
do
an
think I could.
instrument, I would do music. I've been telling my buddy John all week, because I've been going through a breakup, and I've been telling him, not a breakup. I got dumped, bro.
Yeah,
I
oh
got
yeah.
dumped. Let's be honest, I'm dad dumped.
Oh
But
man.
like I got dumped, and it kind of broke my heart. I was like, I thought this was, because I met him in a ska context. I thought this was
Yeah.
like the one, right? Like I honestly did. I was like, this is magic. There's so much music wrapped up in it, and
Oh
like
well.
I keep telling my friend John, I'm like, I wish I was a musician. I would write the most amazing breakup album, because it just
Yeah.
like out of left field. I mean, yes, out of left field, not out of left field, but like it sucked. And so I get it. Like I think
Yeah.
I always tell people this with stand up, it is the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me, because it when I first started, a friend of mine, she like saw a video of me online, and she goes, I was so worried for you because a lot of stand up's really bad. And then I saw you, and I realized it's just like having a conversation. It's who
Yeah.
you naturally are, is who you are on stage. And I was like, thank you. Because I've known her since I got clean and sober. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
And so that she was like, it was just like you after a meeting in the parking lot yelling about work, or like
Yeah.
hollering about some guy, or like, it gave me a lot of confidence to kind of know like, oh, this is kind of naturally me. I will say it is a hard life. There's not a lot of money in it.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with music. There's just no money in it.
There's just
You
no
got to do
money.
you got to do it for the love of the craft.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
you don't love it, and want to do it forever, and if you have other loves and other talents, go do that. Like
Yeah.
and you can being stage funny, and stand up's not going anywhere either. I'm seeing comedians popping in their 70s right now. So
Yeah.
like comedy's not going anywhere. So music might have a shelf life, because you got to have
Sure.
all your gear, you've got your family, you've got a good job, you got a government job,
Yeah, no, I'm not leaving that. I'm not leaving that anytime soon. Yeah.
you have a government job, sir.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say, I don't know, try it. But you are funny, you're funny on your TikToks, you're funny. Oh
Oh, do I still have you? Do I got you?
yeah.
So I think we'll be okay. We'll just kind of
Okay, you're gonna get you're gonna get, this will be very funny, you're just gonna get me going, oh.
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 Well, let's pick up where we left off and tell me again how funny you think I am.
Oh my god, you're so funny.
I
You're so
wasn't
funny.
I wasn't fishing, but I like what I caught.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love I think band funny is really important. I do think that you're very funny and informative, because I feel like I have
Yeah.
so many gaps in like my punk ska acumen, because I
Yeah.
am all over the place. Like
Sure.
I've gotten in a couple of arguments with people. I'm like, you don't understand. Hip hop be punk as fuck. And they're like, Anna. And
Totally.
I'm like, it is.
For
The
real.
stakes are so high. Like, and like to go out there and just DIY everything. And I think yeah. So I know that like I don't always meet the criteria for like straight up like, I'm so into punk ska. But like also I love shows, I love the music, I love the
Yeah.
energy, I love the community. And when I'm there, I'm in, and being a
Yeah,
part of
totally.
like, I got to be a part of Warp Tour this year with
Yeah,
Burn
I
This
saw that.
Records. And it like blew my mind. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. And also like, again, hard stuff happened around it. And like, but like it still blew my mind. And I'm so grateful that I can bring that punk rock, like like to me, like roast battle, the first thing I did at roast battle, they started telling me to show them it was a different time. In 2015, roast battle, there are roasts you will never hear because I did not allow them to be released because I use language that is bad. And what I
Wow.
would
Okay.
like to tell you is, I didn't say the N-word or anything, come on now. But like, what I want to tell you is that, like, so in this context, it's going to seem bad, but I was doing a battle. It was like the first one I really started to pick up steam, and the crowd, one of the judges called me the wicked witch of no breasts or something.
Okay.
And for context, I currently, at the time I had like D's because I was skinny as a rod. I currently have triple D's, like they're gigantic. And so I was like, what? And then the crowd was like, prove it. And they kept chanting, prove it. And I just did this. I just did this for like 5 minutes. I was like, fuck you. Like, and that is that. And like coming up in Long Beach, like playing, like I got to play at Alex's bar in between bands. I got to play at like venues in Fullerton in between bands. Like music, like punk music and local punk music always kind of played a role. And also music festivals, like getting to do fest. That is a muscle I got in Long Beach, like playing DIY punk music festivals, like in different places all over the city. And like, I'm so grateful for that because it gives me this, it gives me an ability to handle a type of chaos on
For
stage.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like, the fest reset, I call it, like, as everybody runs out to go see their favorite band after getting a bunch of AC in their bones, and then they run back and like, so yeah, so it's always been pretty cool. And getting to know like the Bad Time Records crew and like, hanging out with everybody and realizing like my homie Evan Cassidy used to play with them, like used to be in bands like down in OC. So it's like, the punk ska crossover is really, really like really, it's always been there for me. So it's
for sure.
Cool.
It's show day, so I'm going home. I'm getting out of my uniform and into my show fit. Check for my phone, wallet, keys, and of course, my Eargasm earplugs. I never go to a show without them. They come in this convenient carrying case and go easily in your ear. Now you have high quality sound at every show you go to. So head over to eargasm.com to get yours and use promo code MAILMAN10 for 10% off your next order. That's eargasm.com, promo code MAILMAN10 for 10% off your next order. When I saw the Adolescents last, there was a guy in the crowd who just said, like, play Amoeba, which is obviously their biggest song.
Right.
And they're going to get to it eventually. But I saw Tony Adolescent just look down at this guy and just with, like, all the disdain in his eyes just went, I'm not going to fucking listen to you. And I was just like, yeah, that's like the punk rock thing. He is like early punk rock shit. He's like, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to play.
Right.
And I saw him think about not playing it. And so I do think you have to take this like punk attitude of like, nah, man, I'm in control of the show as a comedian. But then to cross it over with all the ska stuff, you got to be a goofy silly Billy to like ska. And so,
you got to be a silly goose. You got to be a silly goose. And what's interesting is I like hardcore, I like punk, I like all different types of, like, I like the genre.
Absolutely.
I like it all. But here's the deal. The guy who stands in the back of the room with his arms around his girlfriend, just standing there not moving, the two y'all, you need your own section. Some of us want to dance. And if you cannot get out of my damn way with your whatever this is, or the guy who's just like in the car like this, just, I'm going to nod my head.
Always. In the back, arms crossed.
I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to be free. And I like the freedom of it. I really do. I love the silly billiness of it because I'm a silly goose.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. So then you were saying your homie earlier. Oh my God, why am I blanking on names all of a sudden? John. And obviously, it's not just any old John. This is John Graber.
John Graber.
Who's currently playing with Dancehall Crashers. He's a music engineer. He's played with NoFX. I saw him playing with NoFX when they came to Salt Lake City last year.
Yeah.
So how are you homies with John? And let's
Ra-
get that into like your story here to tell of how ska played a picture in your last relationship.
okay, randomly, I was hanging out with like friends of friends, like just hanging out, and John follows me out to the street as I'm leaving. And he goes, "Hey, you're rad. I have a wife. I want to be friends. I'm not weird." And I was like, uh, sure? Like, how can I turn that down? I was just like, he goes, I have a wife. This isn't weird. I'm not being a creep. And I was like, okay. And so we were friends for a really long time. And one day I was like, yeah, blah, 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 this band Bad Cop. And he was like, yeah, Bad
Oh
Cop,
yeah,
Bad Cop. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, they're like my friends. And I was like, oh. And I just didn't know. I just didn't know who he was. I didn't know
gotcha.
he was in Weird the Union. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. And that's how we became friends, like really authentically. Like just I think I knew about his daughter was born before I knew about his career. I knew
Oh
he was
wow.
a
Okay.
musician, but I didn't ask any questions, like
Uh huh.
and so yeah, so it's been like it was cool. It was really cool. And like
That's super cool.
yeah, and like he saved my ass this week. He saved my ass this week cuz I wasn't, I wasn't into okay. So, okay. And here's the tale.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's
I'm
get
just gonna
into it
let you roll.
cuz it's going to let me wet the gullet here.
Yeah, while you're saying that, I will say I'm a big fan of John Graber.
Mm.
I had Chris Grau on the very first episode.
Chris.
And yeah, Chris has worked with John a bunch.
Mhm.
And Chris was like, you should get Graber on. And I was like, I would love that. And so I reached out to him, and he was on a fishing trip, and he still hasn't gotten back to me, but we're going to get him. We'll get him on.
He
We'll
called
get him
me
on the
after that
show.
fishing trip. He called me. It was very sweet. Yeah, okay. So at the beginning, it actually all starts last year. And
Okay.
and I'm going to preface this by something. So by about October of last year, I start asking my psychiatrist a little bit. She has a little bit of ADHD PTSD situation going on, right? So I have very high anxiety. I'm a rare people don't think that high anxiety. Yeah, I met him at a suicide machine show. Anyway,
Woo!
so I went to see. So it was after the election in Brandy. I was living with Brandy before. I was living somewhere else now, and it didn't feel like a safe place. Like the gals there and I didn't really mix. They were like completely different vibes, like a very different vibe. And I was doing kind of what I could to get in to fit in, but it just wasn't a very comfortable place to live. And I was experiencing a lot of anxiety and depression. The election happens and we're like, "Oh god, like this is what's even going to happen." I'm like, "I need to go to a show." And I see that Bad Times Coming Through, Suicide Machines, Omnigon, etc. And I go, "Hey, like Adam, can I get on the guest list from Omnigon?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And he's been a homie. Like we met at Fest, and like
Yeah.
he's so sweet. He's always like rooting for me. I'm like that perpetually single girlfriend that like everybody is like, "You can do it, girl," and I just keep trying. And so we're
Sure.
there, and I I'm talking to Adam, and this guy walks up behind me, and he's got his little fingies together, basically, and he's like, "Hey, are you Anna Valenzuela?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he was like, I heard you on In Defense of Ska, and
Hmm.
I think you're really cool. I listened to your album, and I really like it. My album, Murderpuss.
Yeah.
So he knew a lot about me already because there's a lot of like autobiographical material on that. And oops, sorry. And so flash forward, I'm messing around on the apps and I get this DM and dude's like, "Yo, you know, I met you at the show. I figured I'd shoot my shot." And we went on a couple of dates and he was very shy. I wasn't feeling it. He was very shy. I ended up dating somebody else. And but I always thought about him. And it actually made me really sad when we stopped talking. And I didn't realize that that was like, oh, that means you really like somebody. And in that interim, so it was like between November to December, then January rolls around and the fires hit. And that's about the time I broke it off. And what I didn't realize is that the fires really affected me bad. But then again, I did, because I kept telling my psychiatrist, I was like, I think I need more like anxiety, like on the daily help. I think I need more Zoloft. And he was like, no, 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 no. You don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. This is normal. And every month I keep telling him more and more symptoms. He's not listening. And so this will all come together in a story. So I'm about ready to go on tour. It's March. I'm about ready to go on tour. And my with Keith Carey and Will from Stuck Lucky. And
cool.
that tour was amazing. It was like a full-on band tour. I had so much fun. A guy like OD'd at a show. Like, it was bananas. I'm getting ready to go on tour. And Brandy says, hey, do you want to come see Laura Jane Grace with me? My boyfriend doesn't want to see. She sees Laura Jane Grace every time she's in town. And she was like, my boyfriend doesn't want to go. Do you want to go with me? And I said, well, I'm leaving in 2 days. I haven't really packed. I'm going to be gone for like 3 weeks. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go. And I said, I woke up that morning and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to run into him. So I had her print a picture of John Cusack holding the boombox and say anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I picked the wrong dude. If you'll have me, let's go have tacos. And right? The look on your face.
Yeah.
How fucking whimsical am I? So, and so we did, and we were together. And when I was on the road, he was like, I'm afraid you're going to leave me for somebody. And I was like, don't worry about it. Trust me. I'm locked in, because I don't go back.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't do that is because I've dated 2 guys that died after the first date, and my ex had a stroke while we were boning, okay? Yeah. I have been through some things, okay? And I'm in therapy and I'm working on stuff, and I really want the relationship to work. So I told him, I was like, I'm working on therapy. I'm doing everything I can. And even there was even like a time where like him and his friends were meeting me at a show, and I was like, I'm hella agitated, all this stuff. And so long story short, Rose, we're getting ready for Warped Tour, and he has these friends that he told me straight out the gate, if my friends don't like you, that's kind of a deal breaker.
Oh, okay.
And there was another thing he joked about, and I joked about it. I said, you're not just going to like date me to like break my heart, right? And he was like, well, if I were to do that, I'd make sure that you were really in love with me first. And I was like, ooh, yeah. Fuck? And I was like, ooh. And, but I laughed it off because I was kidding. And he was, I'm kidding, right? And so through, because we had like, when you're dating somebody, and what I don't realize this entire time is, while I do crack a lot of jokes, but I'm also like being really intense, and I'm using all my therapy tools, and I'm being so intense. And what I don't realize is I'm so anxious all the time. And we go to do I did DC Warped Tour. It was amazing, and I'm all excited about Long Beach. He already had tickets with his friends, and which is very ska punk, to be like, my friends are my world, my friends are my family, and I'm like,
yeah,
and I'm like, sure. I like your friends. Like, I met them basically in a panel interview, and they asked me a bunch of questions, and he told me that they're not, some of them weren't really ska punk people, so they were like clowning on him for meeting somebody at a ska punk show and like all this stuff. And like his friends, and they all come from his profession, and they're all very like, they're socially acceptable people. And I am a comedian with 9 jobs who tours in a van and gets held up by Homeland Security. Like, I am a mess, right? But like, that's who I am authentically. Like, and also I am solid, and I have all these other traits about me, but But if you're looking for like a conventional kind of person, I'm not your girl, you know. His friendships are really important to him.
Uh-huh.
And I as far as I know, I they probably provide a strong sense of safety. And for me, like joke like that intensity was also me trying to make myself safe, and the way that we were trying to make ourselves safe wasn't gelling. And so at Warp Tour, I kept saying like, bring your friends by the booth, bring your friends by the booth. And before, and like, I can get them backstage and I can introduce them to people and blah, blah, blah. And I can introduce you, you can meet your heroes, like all this stuff. And he was like, my friends don't like you. And as a 41-year-old or 43-year-old, I
Yeah.
kind of went a little crazy. Not a little crazy. Yeah, I went a little crazy. There was some there was some looking back on it, some real anxiety that was coming up for me. And I didn't, I didn't handle it well, and I could have not handled I don't how to explain it. I could have been chiller about it, but I didn't have any room. I can't describe to you how difficult. I've done television, and I cannot describe to you how I would do Warp Tour every weekend if I could, except for it is also the most exhausting thing I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
And how intense it was. And I was doing like a specifically political set. I was doing specific material for the tour that was kind of like new stuff every time. And so it was a lot of pressure. And so without making any excuses, like obviously I have my part, we all have our 50%. And I tried and I tried and I tried, and as far as I can tell, I tried too hard in a lot of areas without saying like, I really wanted you there. Like he wasn't there for the set, and the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was pretty much the beginning of the end. Um, and we did see some bands together. We saw Dance Hall Crashers, all breakup songs.
Yeah.
We saw Less Than Jake. A lot of
Killer.
songs that are maybe not breakup, but like it was fun.
Yeah.
I'd seen them before. We didn't get to see any of the iconic stuff together. Like we didn't get to see the like Dead Kennedy, or not Dead, a Dropkick Murphy set, like together, so there was a lot of stuff that like I felt, even though I was at work, I would have liked to have been there with him and his friends. I wanted to interact with them, but because I had reacted so like aggressively over all that stuff, he didn't feel safe that way, blah 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 blah. And he always was protecting them from me for some reason, not that I'm a professional roast battler or anything, you know. But I'm a girl's girl. I had no problem with the girls. I had no problem with the girls. I had problems with like how we were handling it.
Yeah.
And what I should have said, if I can get in a Wayback Machine, what I should have said was, when he said they don't like you, I should have said, babe, let's prove them wrong as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead I said, that sounds like a you problem. You're my PR. What happened?
I mean, that's my first thought though, is like,
Yeah.
well, that sounds like something you have to deal with because they're your friends and I'm just being me.
Right.
And I know like I'm not diagnosed with anything, but I'm pretty certain I have a mild ADHD, and I know that I can tailor my personality to each person and like go based off of what they
Yeah.
are bringing to the conversation.
Yeah.
So I could easily like gel with most people and be
Right.
friends with most people. But the second they're like, oh, like my friends don't like you, I'll be like, well, I fucking did my part. Like,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I literally was like, I'm a goddamn delight. I don't know what their problem is, But also, what I didn't realize is the person you're talking to today is a lot more relaxed and a lot more tuned in.
Sure.
I was for about 6 months, I was really talking too fast and talking too loud, if that makes any sense. That like
No,
anxiety
I
thing.
totally get that.
Yeah, and like and he kept saying I have anxiety, and I kept saying I do too, and like so our anxieties just kept rubbing together. And basically, like, long story short, I was gonna take him to Orlando and all this stuff with me, but he broke up with me. He broke up with me because I reacted poorly. I was taking care of him after he had surgery, and he was you know. And then he was like, I'm going to go to this show with my friend. And I was like, okay, well, I guess you don't need me to take care of you anymore. I'm going to leave. And then it just kind of turned into this thing. And his whole reason was, I feel like I have been way too personal about this. I feel fucked up. This is not fucked up, but like, this is not what I expected I was going to tell the whole
Right,
story.
right.
But, but the reason why he broke up with me was, and he said, I was sitting down to get ready to like work it out, you know? And like,
Yeah.
we were at dinner and we were going to work it out. It was a nice dinner. We were having a good time. And, you know, he apologized for some things. And then he said, you know, I just can't see a future with you. Or I love you and I see a future with you, but I also see a future where I have to keep you separated from my friends. And is it makes me sad and anxious, and so I have to break up with you. And I got really upset. Really upset, because I felt like I was powerless over that, right? I felt like I was like, oof, that's such a feel, like, oof, because I was like, give me access to these friends, you know?
Let me prove this.
Yeah, I was like, go. When he was recovering from his surgery, I was like, I know you're weird with me around them, I can go leave and you can bring your friends over. And like, so I was really trying to accommodate whatever this was, you know, kind of understanding that like community for him is so important. And because again, he's a punk rock guy, he's a punk rock ska guy, you know what I mean? And like, you know, so like community is a big deal. And so it just didn't, that reason didn't feel right. And I expected it to be like normal. And then it was so funny because he was like, I didn't expect this. And then brought me all my stuff because it was already in his car. And I was like, oh.
You didn't expect this?
Oh, you didn't expect this? I became like roast battle. And he was like, he was like, you bully me with therapy language. And I was like, oh, you want me to code switch into some shit? Like, you know, and I became La Toxica, like just that girl at the show punching her dude in the chest. I didn't punch him. I would lay hands on him. I was good. But like, I was really, really, really upset and really heartbroken. And
totally.
you know, and a friend of mine, she keeps reminding me that like, because I find it very like, my 12-step program self is like, you're not supposed to yell. And my friend goes, you know, you yelled, you were upset. You were really upset. You were really heartbroken. That was upsetting.
Yeah.
When somebody tells you that like an invisible committee doesn't like you, or like, you know, like that doesn't feel good, you know, and you were really trying. And so I'm not saying that like he's a bad guy, because he's not. He's a really good dude.
Sure.
Our values just didn't match, you know, and I just tried to explain to him, I was like, it's not that I want you to have friends. I don't want to date somebody who doesn't have friends. I want to date somebody who has friends, but who also understands that, for example, when you met your wife, your relationships with your friends changed a little bit, right? Just for time, as you were like,
for sure, always, yeah,
that's like normal.
And to be fair, I met my wife when I was 15 years old. we were high school sweethearts. But I mean, especially
stay together forever. It's a nightmare out here.
Yeah,
there's nothing left.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, I definitely see that from growing through my literal being a teenager into my 20s, into having kids, and now we're in our 30s. Like everything changes and shifts, and you grow separately and you grow together at the same time, and dynamics and relation and things with other people, like friends and everything, that changes and shifts as everyone gets older and things. So it's a constant changing thing.
You're a good looking guy. Has your wife ever said to you like, that lady, you know, that lady's talking to you in kind of a way that makes me a little uncomfortable?
Not necessarily uncomfortable, because she knows that I am so unbelievably faithful that I don't even pick up when girls are like flirting with me. And she actually said this to me the other day. She was like, you think of girls flirting with you as the same way as we were in high school, because we started dating in high school, is that you think a girl, in order to flirt with you, has to be like, oh my God, stop, you're funny. And she's like, that's not what it's like in your 30s. Like, women are gonna come up to you and just be like, wow, you're a great dad. and then and then I'm just like, oh, thanks. And
I
she's like,
love
that
it.
she likes you. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But
Yeah, there was, and I want to be like, I want to be transparent. There was a thing I was doing that, like, because I was so anxious, I would text a lot. I would get like, I'd have feelings and then I would start texting, right? Which is, no
yeah.
one ever likes that. Don't fight over text. Don't do it. It's bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And like, I would text something that I thought was funny or sarcastic, and then he'd be like, ouch, right? And then I would be like, I'm sorry, I'm really whatever. And that was happening a lot during that Warped Tour weekend. And in order to stop myself, I would like put myself in, like, I would like put do not disturb, or I would like block it for like 5 minutes. And then there was like a thing that made it worse because I didn't know, I thought I had unblocked it and it wasn't. I kept sending him videos of that Agrolites playing backstage at the after party. And so he just thinks I'm just being like, fuck you, you weren't here. And I was like, no, I was just trying to reconnect with you. And so it was also two silly gooses who were like afraid of each other and afraid of what they had, I think, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about his side, but that's how it felt to me. And at the end, like, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
And then the craziest thing happened. The last time I spoke to him, it wasn't there. I thought it was going to be there. The last time I spoke to him, I actually, an ex from 5 years ago, who's now married and has a kid, has a stalker, and heard me try to work out some breakout material on stage and sent me a bunch of death threats. And I thought it was his friend.
What?
I thought it was the most recent ex. I thought it was Ska Boy's friends coming for me. And I called him and I was like, hey man, like, I'm not mad. This just has to stop. Like, I don't know what this is, but it has to stop. And he was like, it's not my friends. So, and then consequently, finally, my doctor was like, I think you might need to deal with this anxiety. And I was like, yeah, we've had a breakup and a death threat in the same week, fool. Like, let's go. And so, so I, at this juncture of said breakup heartbreak, music's a little tricky. I went and saw I went and saw Dance Hall Crashers because it's all breakup music. John was there, and it felt so good to like dance and sing and let it out, and like, you know, just really, you know. And again, I have my 50%. I've made amends for those 50%. You know, I think that's another thing is like 12-step people make a lot of apologies and amends all the time. We're always like, fuck you, I'm sorry. That's a Marin line. Fuck you, I'm sorry. And that's like a thing we do. And that's really disorienting for people because they're like, ma'am, you know. And also it's like really, for a lot of people professionally, like arguing things is a big part of his profession, right? So like, so to have somebody just like walk up all the time and be like, I'm really sorry I did this thing and here's how I want to make it right, and also my feelings are still valid, is kind of difficult. This really got deep anyway, but
no, it's great. No, first off, thank you for sharing all that. I know that's extremely personal, but
yeah, he's not gonna love it. Edit as you please.
No, I don't think you said anything terribly incriminating.
No, but, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Yeah. You know, he's a good dude. And I wish I had better. I wish I chose to use better tools most of the time. You know, well, I wish I had run my mouth less.
It also sounds like a lot of the heartbreak of it came from a place of that you were gonna sit down and be like, hey, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
And then there was that's the complete opposite happened.
Yeah.
And so you were going into it with different expectations than what you came out with. And that's
I was like, unity,
tough.
unity, you know?
Yeah, we've heard it all before.
We've heard it all before. Exactly.
You're like, this ain't no fucking faction. This is our relationship.
Right. Can we pick it up where we left off?
But yeah, and then to move on to with like music is incredibly tricky at that point.
Yeah,
I'll get personal with you. I took a large break from doing everything last summer, from doing podcasts, from doing TikTok, from making music, because my wife and I had a little bit of a struggle and we were like separated for a little bit of time. And that's, it's struggles happen in relationships. It's ups and downs, and it's just about moving past them. But music was the number one hardest thing. It's like you put on your Spotify shuffle and it's like, nope, I can't do it. This is too hard. This song is going to like break me down. And so
we saw the
I get it.
Mezzingers together. We saw Lucero together. We saw Suicide Machines, Catbite, Omnigone. We saw Less Than Jake. We saw Dance Hall. We saw Go-Go Bordello. We saw like so there was just like a lot. There's a lot of music, and I turned on, and we had talked a lot about music, and when I turned something on, I think it was like, I think Hepcat came on, or English Beat or something came on, and I just like lost it. And so,
absolutely.
What was your Lose It song? Well,
the thing is that I wouldn't let myself get to it. Like a song would start and I'd have to go, no, and I would just have to turn it off. I can't think of any songs specifically, but there was a lot of them. And, I've got kids and stuff with her. And so that was extra, like a kid song could come on. I'd just be like, oh, my kids are disappointed.
You're crying to Bluey? No, you're crying to the Wiggles? No.
It's just like, You've Got a Friend in Me, Toy Story. And I'm just like, I failed my family.
Yeah. I saw, he was like a horror guy, and I saw Chucky, because it's, of course we're getting to Halloween, right? And we had all these Halloween plans together, but he was worried because his friends were going to be there, and his friends don't like me, and like the whole thing. And so like, it was a vibe, and I get it. His friends want to protect him because he's a sweetie. He's a sweet dude. Except for like, there's obviously some areas that like, I don't think, it bummed me out. The whole thing bummed me out. And you're right. Sure. When you sit down to Good Faith, I felt so blindsided, and I just was like, this motherfucker he's woken up the roast battle. He woke up the roast battle. Like I immediately just started, I was like saying things, and it was like that. It was like, well, this and this. I can't believe I let a man like you, I'm sorry. But I also got to tell him, like, I did. One of the things I loved about him is that he had friends, and that he loved those friends, and that he was loyal to them. And I was definitely very loyal to him. I don't think he ever trusted me, because we had dated and got back together. And so, and I don't think his friends ever trusted me on that account either, and I get that. I'm that friend everybody protects. But I do have to tell you, he made it past all my safeguards. Number one, he made it past John.
Okay, yeah.
John's kid even liked him.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, like, it was like, he made it past. I took him to the yearly This Is Rad pool party, where he met all the characters, and they were all pulling me aside individually and being like, I loved him. And I was pulled in a bunch of different directions, and I probably didn't do a great job like floating around with him, like getting it. But we were in the pool. We were talking with Keith. We're talking with Joe Carl's K. We're talking with Ed Greer. Pulled me aside and was like, that guy's incredible. I love him. Like, my ex showed up, and he was like, why didn't you introduce me? And I was like, I'm sorry, there was too many people. And there's like all these people, like everybody, like people from like Lori Kilmartin was there. Everybody was there and met him, and all adored him. And so he, that was the other thing, is like Ron Swallow from Greatest Pod, or Greatest Ever. Like, he was like, he made it past everybody, and we're all your brothers, we're all your bouncers, we all were really down for this guy, and so like, don't beat up on yourself too much, because there's clearly stuff you didn't know going on in the background in his head, and like, hopefully he finds some peace with that. And I wish him all the best, and like, but right now, I'm on 100 milligrams of Zoloft a day. Finally, I feel like a person. I was so upset. John had to like come and get me and take my keys and make me sleep in his kid's bed, and like it was bad. This one was bad. I didn't even have kids with this fool. This one was bad. But I think it all had to do with like just the fire and everything. And I'm a silly what I like about ska people is there is this like authentic whimsy.
Absolutely.
And because the music was so intertwined, I was like, there's so much whimsy, there's so much
Yeah.
magic here, and like it was hard. It was hard,
Yeah. I
and
hear you.
yeah,
Well,
but I would love some alternatives
yes.
to the
Good.
music I was listening to. Although I have to say, Screaming to Dance Hall, like
Oh, that's gotta feel good.
we were backstage and Jesse Ware and I are singing, looking at each other and singing, "He wants me back, but he can't have me. He wants me."
Yeah.
Like it was so good seeing Hepcat like back on
Yeah.
stage,
Yeah.
like seeing like Scream singing enough, watching kids sing and dance in the rafters of the venue, like at one point like waving to the crowd and taking a picture of the crowd, and they waved at me and I waved at them back, and like like letting that music, like letting the music of like seeing one of my best friends on planet Earth sing in a band that was one of my favorite things growing up
Absolutely.
was exactly what I needed. Is exactly what I needed. I needed
That
family
sounds so healing.
in the scene. Yeah, it was so healing and it was so good. And I got to bring my friend who's like, who's like not in that scene, but like likes all that music. And so it was really, really sweet and fun. And so I felt so grateful for that. But yeah, give me some alternative
Yeah.
songs. Let's
I can
start let's
you're
start a new playlist for
you're
this sad girl over here.
you're such a good comedian. You know how to do segues. I don't have to do anything. You're making my job so easy.
I
So,
yeah, until you can tell you're heartbroken, I'm about ready to launch 2 new podcasts. Like this is unhinged. Like I don't I all I know is I have to turn this into effing
yeah,
gold. Like
turn it yeah,
that's it.
take that pain and make something cool out of it.
But
Make
I
some
did,
good art
what
out of it.
do you ever like the song? You like Dollar Signs? Rest in
Dollar
peace, Dollar
signs?
Signs. Have you seen that band?
No,
They have this song and it's like, I hope I don't fuck this up, basically.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I tried to write for you a love song, but all I think about is pizza and like it's like very stupid. And then it's like,
Yeah.
and then he goes, so the closest thing is you are the possum in the trash can of my heart.
Okay.
And I sent
I
him that
like
song
it.
because that's very much how I feel. Like I remember like showing up to that relationship and being like, I hope I don't fuck this up,
Yeah,
and like
I hear you.
I totally have my part, I totally have my part. And but I wish it ended differently. So I need a new breakup
Here
playlist.
we go. Yes, we're
Let's
gonna
get in
build it
here.
together. We're
Okay.
gonna build it together. I have 10 sections of songs queued up, like 30 seconds to a minute of different songs that I was going through and thinking, I think this applies to Anna. I think she'll like it, and I don't know if she knows these bands. So let's give
Yeah.
it a shot.
Let's do it.
So let's build a playlist together. We're gonna start, and I think I nailed it. This is Joker's Republic. I don't know if you know them. They're from New Jersey. They're good buddies of mine. I've played with them a couple times. I've hung out with them. This song is called Anxiety, and
Yeah.
it was produced by Roger from Less Than Jake. He recorded this
Hey.
whole record. So can you hear it? And it's like this is like great third wave stuff, but now. Getting in my own head. I love these boys.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's the
Is that a good
relation.
one?
I lost so much sleep. That's the relation. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so those boys are the best. They have a new album coming out real soon. They're going to be on the podcast. It's booked. It's not. We haven't talked about it yet, but they'll be on soon. Yeah, no, that they're amazing. I thought you would like that because I just guessed he had anxiety.
Yeah. Oh, you can't tell? Ah! Yeah. I had some real cringe posts last week where I was just like, I've been trying for 10 months to get my anxiety taken care of. And it took a man breaking up with me for my doctor to be like, well, another man doesn't like her. And then I was like fighting the urge to be like, I should just call him and be like, hey, I wasn't deliberately crazy. I was just chemically crazy. So like, can we, grow up, like quit being such a pick me. Like he don't like you like that. Move on. And like, so yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. Well, next song is by a band called the Shut-Ins, and I'm in this band. But this is a song from before I joined them. I know you're sober, but I think the sentiment stays the same. This song is called Numb.
Yeah.
I smoke too much and I drink too much, and I only do it cause I think too much. Well, my friends think I'm out of touch, so I keep to myself and I don't say much. What if I'm right? What if I'm wrong? What if the world is too far gone? And maybe I'm just numb.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So
in it. Yeah.
That's got to be one of the best punk, like ska punk songs. Like, and we're just a little tiny band, and I just love that song. And the last time they came up with a ska riff, they emailed it to me because they're in Minnesota, and so we do everything remotely. But they sent me a track and was like, yeah, we like this a lot. What do you think? And I was like, yeah, I love this. This was a different song, and then they sent back the second like run through of like changing it. They're like, yeah, we took out all the ska parts. Tell me what you think. And I was like, yeah, I don't like it anymore. I was like, what do you mean I'm gonna like it? You took out all the ska parts. That's my whole thing.
That's so funny. You're like, why am I here? What's happening?
Yeah. Okay, this next one, what do we have? Make the Best of It by a band called Stop the Presses. You ever heard Stop the Presses?
No.
Okay,
Here we go.
I'm nailing it. Stop the Presses are from New York, and they're more of a trad ska kind of thing, like in the same vein of the Slackers. And so I thought Make the Best of It applies because it's like, hey, we're going to move on from this. Yeah. Make the best of it. Ooh. Yeah, they're good, right? It's like a little ace of bass in there, too.
Ooh. The organ, though.
Mm-hmm. That's Allie. She does all of the organ parts.
Ooh.
I'm very close with them too.
Ooh, this is gonna kind of fill some of that fishbone hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
See, it's got the punk attitude without it being like hardcore punk.
I love it. Ooh. Did you just expose me to my new favorite band? They're to the one before, but you know.
They're like in my top 5. They're so good.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, no, they're killing it right now on the scene. They're amazing.
Butter, the voice, everything is.
Yeah. And that's Allie. She does voice lessons and piano lessons because that's how good she is. That she can teach other people how to do
it. I love that. I wonder if she's expensive. I would love to take some. I used to sing when I was in high school.
I don't think so. You should hit her up. She's super available.
Yeah.
I can even forward you all the info. We're me and her are very tight.
What are we, besties now? Oh my God, what's happening?
I hope so. That's why I made this playlist.
Yay, thank you. I asked him to make me a playlist and he never did.
Oh, I'm already doing better than him. This next song is by a band called Simple Minded Symphony. They're from, I'm just gonna start playing it because I chose a really long clip. But they're from Seattle, Washington.
Ooh.
And they infuse a lot of like kind of jazzy, but I don't know. This guy Kevin, his voice is super buttery, and he plays bass. And they just have a really great horn section. But I chose this section because there's just a fun little rap break about like where did my sanity go, and then the rap break here is just like kind of just fun. I don't know. Yeah. They're rad. Listen to that bass solo. See, and so this whole bit is just talking nonsense. Where did my sanity go? Like, fuck it, let's just have fun. And then it doubles up here. I just love everything about this band.
Giving me that big band. Come on now.
I'm gonna keep it playing because then it picks up double time and it just makes like you feel you want to skank just like deep down in your heart. This is the long stick though. Here we go.
Hey!
Okay, yeah. So I picked that one.
That's great. You're killing it. Your wife is a lucky woman. You make a good playlist.
I'm great at playlists. That's like my favorite thing. I love a theme. I love doing a theme and like sticking with it.
I love it.
Okay, this next one though is a palate cleanser.
Is it like all my friends are like, get angry. Get angry. I'm like, he's so hard to be angry with. It's so hard. They're like, get angry.
Angry comes a little bit further down here. No, this one is more like, I don't know. This has nothing to do with anything. I just love this song and I love this band. They don't get enough love. This band is called Girth Control.
Into it.
This song is called Wrecked on Triple Sec, and it's about sneaking into your parents' liquor cabinet when you're like 15 years old. Oh, that's why I picked it, is because like you got sober really young.
I was 20.
Partied.
I was 20. I never drank in a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, because you partied young. So this is like about partying young.
Similar to straight edge folk, I always get along with the straight edge folk because I was socialized in a 12-step program. So like when I first started doing stand-up, I was in bars and around people and I'd be like, oh yeah, this person's on cocaine. Oh, cool. Like, and it's funny, like one of my favorite songs is Beer, like from Goldfinger. No, less than Jake. No. Real Big Fish. Sorry, brain. Everybody who's listening to this went, Real Big Fish! Ah! Like, and so, but yeah, like I fucking love that song, and like I get it, like it's still great music, you know. And so yeah, I it is a big part of why it's anxiety is like a huge part of why I'm also like hella awkward and like overly honest sometimes. Like we have a saying like honesty without compassion is brutality, right? Like but like the thing is like I've been told over 20 years that if I omit something, if I have cash register dishonesty, if I'm dishonest in any sort of way, then I will drink. And so so when I go into relationships, I have this like super strict version of what honesty is, and that's not what most people do. You know, I got also, you know how you can tell I was going through anxiety, and you can ask your wife about this. I got 2 really drastic haircuts in a year. When your wife goes and gets a really drastic haircut, what do you think?
You got to check in on her now that I'm thinking about it.
Thank you. I got 2 crazy drastic haircuts in 1 year. And so, so yeah, but, that whole thing, I can't wait to hear this song. Let's go.
Two haircuts and 2 new podcasts. This is Wrecked on Triple Sec. I love this band.
Yeah, teenage alcoholic vibes. Let's go. That's so funny.
Is that awesome?
That's so great. That's such the vibe.
Mixing Pepsi with Kahlua.
We used to drink, I think I got the most hammered in my life, ended up in the hospital because I drank a bottle of Bacardi 151 with Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Like, by the way.
151. Yeah. Goddamn.
You know, when you've had too much alcohol, when your friends are sticking their fingers down your throat to throw up.
Oh, God.
You know?
Horrible.
I found a way to fall up a flight of stairs at a music venue.
That's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. I was a problem. Like I was 86 from a music venue before 20. No.
This next one is by a band called Matamoska.
I love them.
Wondering. And this is I put this in the playlist because I saw that you went to see Dance Hall Crashers, and I saw that you posted like you kind of needed it.
Yeah.
And so this is their song Ska Show, which is all about forgetting the bad parts of life and just going and enjoying a ska show for a little while.
Come on, Esteban.
I love Esteban. I played a show one time, and Esteban came up to me afterwards and was like, dude, that was amazing. You're so good at playing keyboard. And I was like, I learned by watching you.
Love it.
Oh, man, my computer's going to crash again. I promise you this. God, they're so good. Oh,
Can I tell you
I
something?
started it over. Please.
When we were at the Laura Jane Grace show, I couldn't find him because everybody at a punk ska show here in Los Angeles is all about the same. We all look the same. It's either awkward, super tall white dudes like Kyle, or it's a bunch of brown, round, low to the ground Latinos in glasses. Like you look out and you just see Milo going to college all the time. Milo going to college all the time, pardon. And so like you see all these things and like I couldn't find him. And what I did see is I saw a person who was dancing so incredibly free, so happy about his shape, about his vibe. And I was like, that's the guy that I wish had been on the first date.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and he turned around and it was him. And then Brandy took a bunch of pictures as we reconnected and like kissed like dorks. Anyway, I'm telling you, it was cinematically whimsical. It was lovely. However, that song gives me that vibe of like, I just want to be here. I just want to dance. I just want to be happy.
Absolutely.
Whether you're with your friends, whether you're with somebody you love, whether you're with somebody, just fucking go and be a part of the fucking, just do it.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. I'm a big advocate of going to shows by yourself, even if you need to.
Yeah, go to shows. Go to shows.
I don't know how often I've been in the crowd looking at a band playing and then going, oh yeah, this is what life is about.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, and then as soon as it's done, I'm just like, fuck, I have to go deliver mail tomorrow. What the fuck? Like,
you have to, that's a wake up early job, right?
yeah.
Woo, okay. Yeah.
But I live 2 minutes from the post office. I can walk there. So
yeah. Good. You're lucky.
All right. Next one. I feel like you probably know him. Do you know Catbite?
Of course I know Catbite.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, is it going to be Bad Influence? What is it?
No, that would have been a smart choice.
No.
I did this because your special Murderpuss was recorded in Colorado.
Yes.
So this is Die in Denver.
Yay!
That's because Murderpuss is from Colorado.
Come on, Brett! Let's go!
I love Catbite. I've seen them live, I think 4 times now.
They're so good. They're so fun.
The last time I watched them, Kaylee played saxophone for Fishbone after their set.
Love it.
Played Cardiac Ground Zero.
They're such a vibe.
Oh yeah.
They're such a vibe.
You can't go wrong.
I saw them at the Orange County Observatory, and it was fascinating because there's a no doubt vacuum in Orange County, and a bunch of people came in to watch Catbite and then left immediately when they were done. It was fascinating.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay,
it was
interesting.
wild. I was like, but the whole lineup was good. They were wrong. They should have all stayed. But it was really cool to like see that they're picking up steam, and they're not to say that there's Tsunami Bomb, there's all these different bands that like occupy that like beautiful female voice in that area. Like, you know, I one of my favorite things about ska is and punk is like, if you're doing it right, if you're living the values, feminism, equality, like, you know, all that stuff is so important. And like I just love a female love a female voice in ska. I like your boys
Yeah, oh
too, but
yeah.
again, she's a
No,
girl's girl, you
well,
know.
yeah. Oh, totally. Well, and that's the thing with ska too, is I feel like historically, since the '60s,
Hmm.
has been a lot of female
Hmm.
players and singers, and I just don't think it's one of the. I think like with punk bands, you'll hear like, oh, it's a girl band,
Yeah,
right? It's like, but they're just a band. They just happen to be girls. But I don't hear people saying in ska a lot like, oh, it's just a girl band. It's like, oh, this is a ska band,
this is a
and
ska band. Anything could happen.
there's yeah, and so that's kind of I like that about it.
Yeah,
This next band is called Mutiny, and it's a little bit of a like super group.
I've heard of.
So
Yes.
a couple of the members of Voodoo Glow Skulls are in this
Hmm.
band. Ephraim from Death by Stereo's in this band,
Hmm.
and my buddy Chris, who is also a letter carrier, plays guitar in this band. And when I was in Connecticut last year for Ska Punk International Fest, Ephraim had laryngitis, and I actually got to sing on stage with them. Um,
Whoa.
but this song is called "What a Difference a Year Makes," and I
Oh, I
just
love
thought,
this.
well,
Because in a
in a
year, I won't
year,
even remember this.
yeah.
Oh,
Although but that's just basically the title. The actual like song itself is part of it's a concept EP about like this dystopian future where all the rich people have left the planet, and all of like the poor people who have to work for what they have stayed on Earth.
mhm.
So it has nothing to do with like a relationship. But I thought, well, what a difference a year makes in
Yeah.
a year, and it's hardcore as hell. Listen to
Yeah,
this.
let's go. Ooh.
It's like emotional and heavy. Right? That's some good shit.
Oh, I love that.
And then you got to go pretty soon, so let's roll
No,
through this.
you're okay. You're okay. I can
Okay.
show up late.
Okay. This next one, I think you know, Chris Grau.
Yeah.
This is Loser with Real Big Fish. I think it's the last thing Real Big Fish has done, except for the Ice Nine Kills song.
Mm.
But this song has Scott I queued up Scott Klopfenstein's verse, and I feel like this song, every time I listen to it, I feel like it's uplifting, but in a way where you're like acknowledging the shit that's happened to you and that you feel down, but it's kind of like, yeah, I'm down, but you know what? It's all right because it can't last forever.
It's giving
That's
you
what it feels.
the Latterman posy punk kind of like.
Yeah. So I don't know. I get like a well, I've said before that it sounds like a nostalgic melancholy, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Oh, and it's like all video game sounds.
Unopposed, overwhelmed, I'm giving up before the bell. Destitute, intractable, I'm living proof this world is hell. No hope, no peace, no dignity, no looking up, no one, no place, no victory, no better off this year. I think I'm stuck. Don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just love that song.
that's great. I love that. That's beautiful. That's ooh. It's that
Yeah,
I'm stuck. It's
it's
that I'm stuck. I'm giving up. That's the.
well, and that song specifically, I feel like it took me probably 3 or 4 listens to before I was like, oh, I think I get it.
Mm.
Like, it's not one that I immediately was like, oh wow, how deep. I was just like, oh, this is a fun little video game sounding song.
Running out of hope is such a grim reality, and I think that's what
Yeah.
happened. He ran out of hope, you know, and like
Yeah, I
that just
hear ya.
happens.
All right, so we got one more song on this, and I will make this playlist public when this episode comes out.
I love it.
And I'll invite you as a collaborator, and we can make it even longer. It doesn't have to be just these 10 songs, but I think we'll include these 10 songs, and we'll just like, it'll be like Anna's Moving On playlist.
I love it. Thank you.
But we're gonna end with I think every good breakup playlist deserves some Taylor Swift.
Yes.
and this is Power Up, their version of Taylor Swift's song New Romantics, which I'm gonna say it, I think it's better than the original.
Ooh.
Look at these horns.
Ooh.
This song
Yes!
pumps me the fuck up. This is the song I listen to and I look in the mirror and do the Superman pose from the TED Talk and just go, fuck yeah. Heartbreak is the national anthem.
I really like this.
It's solid.
That's good.
That kicks all the ass.
That's so
It's one of
much
my
better
favorite
than the
songs ever.
original.
It works so well. And I've talked with Aaron from Power Up, and he said he snuck in multiple Taylor Swift melodies in there that the band doesn't even realize because he's like a huge Taylor Swift fan.
One of my favorite things about punk and ska musicians, and I talked about this on a different podcast, is that they love pop music.
Absolutely, yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
it. I love it. I love it that when you meet your heroes, they're like, but have you listened to the new Sabrina Carpenter album? And you're like, wait, what?
You just wouldn't
Sure.
expect it, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I love it so much.
But yeah, so that's what we have for the Anna Valenzuela's
Yay!
Moving On,
Thank
Getting
you
Better
so
playlist.
much. Adam,
Thank you so much for joining me here and through all the
Thank you.
technical difficulties. You've been nothing but a sweetheart, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, you've been
a
nothing but
ton.
a sweetheart, and I want to say, if you listen to this and you related to it, first off, breakups happen. Don't do anything weird around it. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna get over it. And also, ain't none of you be mean about him. Okay, he tried his hardest. I think I tried my hardest. It just didn't work.
For
And
sure.
Here we are.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
So
thank you for joining me. Once you start one of your 2 new podcasts, I'm more than happy to come on and join you here for
we can
this.
just talk about regular stuff.
Yeah, sure. But no, it's been an absolute blast. I hope we can have you on again sometime and we'll get
thank you
even
so
deeper into
much.
shit.
You're the best.
And then
Yay.
I want to get invited to the This Is Rad party, but I live so far away. So
We'll make it happen. Also, where you can find me? You can find me at Anna V is Funny on Twitter, Instagram, all the things. My website is annavalenzuela.com. I will be updating everything pretty soon. My album, you can find it on Burn This Records, which is like a punk rock comedy label run by Brandy Posey. My album is called Murderpuss. Check it out and come and see me on the road. I really like my new material. Material. Even though I have to cut the jokes about my new relationship and how fantastic it is. But yeah, it's all good, and come and find me. I love giving a hug.
Yeah, I'll put the links to all that stuff in the show notes. I can vouch for Murderpuss. I love that record. I listen to it at least once a year.
Did you know Brendan from We Are the Union mixed it for me?
I did not know that. That's new information today. It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all ska, man.
It's all ska. Ska saved my album. Ska saved my album because it was the audio was not great, and then we had to like go back and fix it, and it was like ska saved. I called John panicking, and he was like, "Don't worry, we got this." And so yeah, it's all ska. Isn't that wild?
That's great. That's great. I love it. And what a great spot to end. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Ska Mailman podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It helps a lot more than you think. Follow me on all the social medias at the Ska Mailman. This show is part of the Never Phase Network, a collective of creators keeping the spirit of the scene alive. If you're into band deep dives, scene nostalgia, creating a healthier and safer scene for the future, or just screaming the words to your favorite songs, you can discover more shows and creators at neverphasenetwork.com. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Never Phase Network. This is Adam, the Ska Mailman Wallace, reminding you to keep life fun.